10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Saturday night show. I know we played on Thursday, but this is the best chance we've had to do the review. An amazing result on Thursday night. Got loads to talk about. But before we get into the game, I just want to have a massive shout out to our new sponsors. It's been bubbling around in the background for a couple of days. But Dire Crew Shop, amazing Newcastle United replica stuff for you to get your hands on. The Nick Pope, the wall, is hopefully going to be a prize we're going to give away on Twitter to each other's followers at some point. But go to the description, check out their shop. They do some amazing stuff, and it's really glad to have them as a sponsor. I won't be receiving any money whatsoever for it. The whole idea of getting these guys on as a sponsor is they're going to give away a prize every month to one of our members. So it's just another way of giving back to all you guys who support this channel, and well, maybe to the members. And thank you to everyone who is a member. I still need to update this. I will get it done. But a new sponsor, please check out their shop. They're absolutely amazing. And I also met my hero again last night, Peter Beardsley. Lindsay was there as well as on the show tonight, so we're going to talk a little bit about it. But an incredible night. I can't take a picture at all. It's a terrible picture. But you can see Lindsay's stepdad in the background there. Cracking night. Knackered because I couldn't get home till after midnight again. Right. Blade, how's the bun?
The bun's all right, mate. Staying it's normal still.
Hey, Maro's back.
Hey.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Cheers, guys.
And Lindsay's back.
Hello.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes, it was.
A while.
It was a good night last night, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, I was really
drunk.
I'm a bit delicate today.
Yeah.
Look at Blade, like not surprised at all.
Well,
He's like,
we're not, to be fair. It was great to meet your granddad, though, and obviously he enjoyed himself, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He honestly couldn't stop laughing at Peter Beardsley. He was just laughing all night about that mirror joke that he made. I every so often I'd just hear him giggling, and then he'd tap me on the shoulder and he'd go, "He hasn't got any mirrors."
Oh, it's brilliant. Just to let everyone know that apparently Peter Beardsley nutmegged someone, and someone turned to him and said, "But you're still ugly." And he says, "Am I?" He goes, "I wouldn't know. I haven't got any mirrors in my house."
It was class. It was my granddad's favourite part, I think, one of them anyway. Yeah. He just had a brilliant night, which was great.
And for any of you who I don't know, it's Steve Rafe who puts on these nights. Whether you like him or not, he puts on a good night. And Peter Beardsley, he always does quite a lot with him. And I've been 5 times. That's how sad I am, because he is my hero. And I could listen to him talk all the time. The stories are the same almost, apart from he misses some things. That will add a few things in that he didn't do the last time. So, a chance to meet a Newcastle United legend or any players, really. Rob Lee's doing them, Nobby Solano's doing them. Just keep an eye out for them, because they are definitely worth going to. Very low-key night and just full of banter. Not allowed to record, so I obviously can't show you any footage of it, but it was just mint. Which reminds me as well, next month we'll also have another prize, which is a Peter Beardsley print poster. I've got that signed for a lucky member as well as the T-shirt that we're going to be giving away as well. So it's all looking up for you members. Before we go into the football, there's quite a lot of people in the chat. If you want to become a member, by the way, and you want a chance of winning a prize, there's the link. It's 99p and you get a chance of winning something. And you really do help supporting the channel if you become a member. Chair says, "Hi all, please remember to keep comments respectful. All no all caps, duplicates, enjoy the show. Mighty Magiobas and shares. Mighty been a great day of footy. Yeah, I watched the Liverpool game. Jammie bastards. Even though from Mara, who's on the show. Chesterton, hope everyone's all right. Leslie's in the house. So is Graham. Good to see you. Even though they like talking to each other, it's great. Amazing scenes at Forest. What is the score in that game? I know they were winning 1-0.
They won.
Oh, they won?
Yeah, they won 1-0.
So Man City have won the title.
If you have a look at what's trending on Twitter right now, #bottle jobs.
Brilliant. I love it. Peter is God, the best ever. Why no status in stands of him and KK? It might come in the future, you never know. Yes, someone pulled a joke because the guy was taking the photo was just someone who was there at the night. And I said something. I said, look, he's my hero. And the cameraman says, oh, thank you. And it made me laugh. And he caught that at the right time. The other two pictures were even worse. By the way, I got on Twitter of Miggy this morning. Mint. I got one of Shay yesterday. I was like, yes. Shay given for the second time. That's brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Love to meet Rob Lee. Oh, he's a gent, honestly. He's got a show coming up, Gary. And hi all. Yeah, it's time I've served calf, but I think it's all sold out now for Rob Lee. But it's like I say, keep an eye out for them. Steve mentioned one where he was going to get 3 of them, didn't he, Lindsay, last night?
Yeah, I asked him to send me an email about it, so I'm sure I'll hear something. I think he said it was Kevin Keegan, Rob Lee, and Peter Beardsley. Yeah, at a different place. So, yeah, I think it'll be a bigger venue this week.
Yeah. There'll probably be like a dinner night or something like that. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Right. So the result was dedicated to little Arthur, who's trying to beat a very rare cancer. We wish him all the best, but Bruno's got involved with it. Absolutely amazing before the game, and maybe this was the inspiration that he needed to try and get us over the line. I was very lucky to have a posh seat thanks to Ken in the Platinum Club. It was nice and comfy, quite close to the Gallagher end, as you can see. A lovely view of the stadium, and I was just bubbling. I was nervous. I love seeing the Nizak flag at last in the ground. That was mint. And the atmosphere, Lindsay, you were at the game as well, was electric, wasn't it?
Oh, from start to finish, it was bouncing. It was absolutely amazing. So, I mean, I didn't manage to get tickets for Monday. So I'm not going to give up hope because I managed to get into the Arsenal game in the last half an hour before kickoff. So, I could strike gold again. But I said, if that's the last game I get to, if that's how my season finishes off in regards to me going to St.James's Park, I am happy.
Yeah, I'm the same. That was my last game.
I am done.
Well, that was definitely my last game of the season because I am working on Monday night, unfortunately. But obviously, you two would have watched it on TV. Did it come across as an electric night, Blade, first of all?
Yeah. The only problem, on TV, is obviously for TV, the quieting down the crowd noise. Yeah. So you it gets a bit bored. Somebody asked in the chat, it seems a bit quiet. And I was like, no, it's not quiet. They're quieting it down. So what I try and do is I stick an old radio on of BBC Radio Newcastle while watching the game with the volume turned down, and you get a better idea. But yeah, it sounded like the place was absolutely bouncing.
Yeah, it was. That's not a bad idea.
That is resourceful, Blade. Very resourceful.
Surprised me from Blade, though. Mauro, what are your thoughts on the atmosphere? And there was another sellout as well. 51,355, I think, came up on the board.
Atmosphere was amazing, really, from start to finish, and I was really nervous about this game because Brighton is a strong team. They are in good run of form. They had some injury problems lately, but they've been had some great results also in a way, beating Arsenal away, and so they are very, very dangerous side to play against. I was really, really nervous before the game, but the guys played magnificently and really had the control from start to finish. After they scored an equalizer,
Maro,
they were
talking about the atmosphere, mate. We're not talking about the game yet.
Atmosphere was really, really top notch, and something that only Newcastle fans can make on the home game.
Exactly. Do you know what? I spoke to Maro and Lindsay before the start of the show, and I said, right, let's just stick to the question, and Maro just goes off on one straight away.
I was convinced it was going to be me first.
I know,
I really
was.
I was convinced it was going to be me.
Hello,
Thanks,
Wayne.
Maro.
Well done, Maro.
No problems, anytime.
Definitely Maro award. Good evening, everyone. 1 point there. We got the passport ready. I kept 2 days off. My holiday left, so if you get any tickets, go and wear the tour in Europe. I can't wait. Honestly, it's going to be amazing. But let's look at the lineups. I was a bit surprised, and I did tweet out because obviously we heard a rumor that Anderson was being prepped for a start. It obviously didn't happen. He kept the same team, kept Isak on the left wing, Callum Wilson up front, Miggy's keeping his players, which I thought he deserved to. Was there any surprises to you, Lindsay, that he didn't change the formation or at least the personnel?
No, knowing Eddie Howe, no, not really. I mean, I maybe thought he might have brought Maxi in maybe and brought back in Callum Wilson as the number 9 up front. Do you know what I mean? Rather than having Isak and them both and maybe rest one of them, or maybe even go for resting Bruno because he's been struggling with his ankle and stuff. But I didn't actually expect any of that to happen. Like it was unsurprising to me that it was unchanged.
I thought the one change, like you mentioned there, which would be Isak probably playing up front on his own and then switching Wilson in the second half late in or something like that. But I mean, who are we? Exactly, and Eddie we trust. Blade, what about you? Were you convinced that Eddie wasn't going to change anything, or were you surprised to see at least not one change?
I was a little bit surprised, to be honest. I thought maybe he would have brought Gordon into the midfield and played Isak up front on his own. But in Eddie we trust, and the guy just doesn't get things wrong. So, yeah, fair play.
He doesn't. Maura, were you expecting changes tonight? Oh, last night, sorry.
No, to be honest, not because Eddie Howe has proved that he likes to keep with the team, and they're playing good. And although we did lose a game against Arsenal and draw against Leeds, I think most of the guys played well, and I expected the practically same lineup as it was in the 2 games before. So no, not really surprised.
I was, to be fair. I thought one change. But hey, Brighton's, though, did surprise me. This is where I got my confidence from. Seeing McAllister on the bench, Senzo on the bench, and Ferguson on the bench as well. I was like, what's going on here? I was a bit surprised. And obviously it worked in our advantage, as we're going to talk about. But I don't know. I didn't expect that. But going into the action, first 20 minutes was absolutely superb, Lindsay. The crowd were just absolutely phenomenal. We could have been about 3-0 up, couldn't we, really, in the first 20 minutes? But we just couldn't quite break them down enough. We had Isak almost score. Willock had a decent chance. It just wasn't falling in the final third, was it?
No, I mean, it was just one of them, like you say, it just wouldn't fall, or there was a defender there just at that last split second, like there was so many, they were throwing themselves in front of the ball at times. I think some of the Brighton players, it looked like, I was sat there and you could tell that they were fighting for what we're fighting for, they're fighting for Europe. And it was a really, really good, physical, scrappy 20 minutes. And Miggy was just the amount of times I just watched him coming up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. He was just unbelievable, man. The first 20 minutes, I was just like, whoa.
He was a bit of pinball, wasn't he? Blade, I mean, after the 20 minutes when you don't score, you kind of get that sinking feeling. Is it going to be one of those days? We missed some very, very good chances. What were you impressed with most in the first 20 minutes?
The press, And Brighton's confusion and inability to realise that our press was hurting them, and yet they kept trying to play out from the back.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying with, like, it can feel like one of those games where it's not going to go for you. And I think as long-suffering fans, we've always got those with Christ, we actually look good here, but is it going to be one of them days where we don't put the ball away? But I honestly wasn't worried about the game whatsoever. I think I called 4-1, so I wasn't far off. But yeah, the way we were actually pressed them and played for those 20 minutes, I knew a goal would come, and when it did, more would follow.
Kind of got like that, didn't it? It was. I'm still tingling and smiling from it. Mauro, the press was absolutely superb. I understand why Brighton still carry on playing the way that they do, because it's what's drilled into them. But our press was superb, and you've got to have willing players to do that. Like Lindsay mentioned, Miggy was absolutely superb. Then you've got Isak on the other side. You've got Wilson even running around like a headless chicken trying to chase the ball down. Joe Linton was pushing up and doing the press, but he was more intelligent than what he has been doing it. Because we all know we missed Sean Longstaff in the last few games. So how impressed with you with our press and with that first 20 minutes?
Absolutely impressed. And that's why I said about this game, because we need just a draw, but I don't believe that's just not our style. We just play every game to the full without looking of other results, without looking of the future games, and that's how I think we will continue if thereafter we manage to get the Champions League place. And guys were just up for the game from the start, and they ran for 90 minutes. For me, Big Joe was absolutely amazing. What he did, he just didn't stop. Even when we were after 4-1 up, the guys were just not stopping and looking for the fifth. And that's what I love about this team, and the way they just address every game. It's just like full strength from the first to the last minute. There is no letting go.
Bruno goal, loved it, smashed it. We'll talk about that soon. So we brought the deadlock, and it was reminded me very much of the Bournemouth goal in the Carling Cup, if you can remember it. Same corner, in swinging. Undov gets his head on it, and it ends up in the bottom corner, top corner of the far side. Keeper had no chance. A little bit of luck went our way, Lindsay, finally, and an own goal as well.
Well, I think we were owed one after Fabian's against Arsenal, bless him. But no, it was, and to be fair, we got that pretty harsh deflection from Trips against Leeds as well, didn't we? So,
yes, we did, yeah.
Yeah, so we were due one, to be fair. Turnabout was fair play and all that. But yeah, no, I mean, I watched it because it came in, obviously, it was from the other side of me because I sit in the east stand, you know. But I saw
you
it.
had a good view, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it was. You are right, Barry. It was very, very, if not very, just a couple of slight changes, but there's very few differences between that and what happened earlier in the season, because I was there for that one as well. Yeah. And everyone was like, it was an own goal, and I was just saying, I don't care.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how they're going.
Yeah, I know. Is it in the back of the net? What? Then jump.
And to be fair, there was 2 Newcastle players on the back post waiting to tap it in anyway.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was.
It was going in.
Yeah, it could have gone straight in. And Trips' delivery was flatter. What we want to see, Blade, because we've criticised Trips a few times for his floatiness, but you whipped this one in, and like I said, any touch was taking that ball in the net, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Any touch, and you guys might not have noticed it, well, because you were at the game, but certainly on TV, it looked like a definite plan from Eddie, where we always had Burn and Botman at the back stick together.
Right.
Now, normally one of them's more central, but for that game, I don't know whether Eddie identified it early on. He put both big men at the back stick for pretty much every single corner that came in from the opposing sides. Right. So I don't know whether it was a genius move whether the set piece coach has been working on them, but definitely Trips' delivery seemed to be affected by that, because it meant he had two options with two big men right at the back. You can whip it, hope to get a nick on at the near post, which is how the own goal went in. But then you've got the big lads at the back, or you can switch it up and sort of either drill it or float it towards the back. So I thought that tactically was absolutely genius.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to see them changing things up, because let's face it, we hadn't scored a goal from a corner since Joe Linton scored a header, and that was like midway through the season. It's a good spot, that. Mauro, the delivery was superb. Yes, Brighton will feel a little aggrieved that it was an own goal, but it was a great delivery. Anything else you noticed in the goal that you want to bring up?
Well, no, Trips' delivery all season have been great, and if it wasn't for the own goal, there would be a player waiting for it, which we proved with the second goal. And to be honest, before the season, I thought we would score much more goals with having
we all did.
having guys like Bruno 196 centimeters and Botman 194, I think. Two tall center backs who go up and Trips and his delivery. I thought we were gonna score like 10 or 15 goals from corners and free kicks this season. We haven't scored that much, but lately we've been getting better at it, and I think it was absolutely deserved. And even if it wasn't for an own goal, I think we would have found a way to score a regular one.
We had a few free kicks from about 40, 50 yards, and I got very frustrated in the first half, Lindsay, because we played the same free kick same time every time, which was just a straight one, and it never worked, but we did it 3 times in a row. That's why I get frustrated with our set pieces at times, because they didn't learn from the first 2, and then they did it again. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it can get a bit frustrating when it's like, if it's first you don't succeed, try again. Sometimes it's like, no, maybe just switch it up a little bit,
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I was just in all honesty, Barry, I was just singing and shouting and cheering, like, I was just having a good time. I really was. Like, if we got a free kick, I was singing, and I was just loving life last night, mate.
Yeah,
there's nothing that could make me get grumpy last night. I was loving it.
Thursday night, Saturday.
I know, I'm getting so confused. It's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah.
I did that a few days ago.
Yeah.
It was quite funny.
It has been a heavy 2 days.
It has been a heavy 2 days for you. Mauro, a set piece coach, is definitely a must need for us. If obviously you mentioned the height of Botman and Byrne, you've also got Joe Linton, you've also got Shaw and also had the ball, then Sean Longstaff when he's in the team as well. That is 5 very tall players. And like you say, we're not scoring enough goals. So we've got to be thinking of a set piece coach coming in and working with them.
Yeah, something where we should probably improve, and but it's not something. I think we didn't have. We had a lot of chances from the set pieces. We had a lot of chances this season from the corners. We just missed luck on some occasions, and maybe need a little bit more work. But I think there is a big potential. If I'm correct, Botman scored only 1 goal this season from the set pieces and corners, which is something at the beginning of the season I would have bet he would score at least 5, if not more.
Botman even scored for us. I don't think he has he? I
think he has 1, if I'm correct.
I can't remember. I don't think he has. I'm sure he hasn't. He came close.
Maybe I'm wrong. I will check. But definitely I expected more. We did find a way to score in other ways. Some of the players played better. But to be honest, at the beginning of the season, I expected us to be definitely the number 1 set piece
scorers.
Set piece scorers. Yeah, definitely. So that's something that with our height, with our strength of the players, we can do better for the next season, but generally, maybe appointing somebody, as you mentioned, would be a good idea. But I think we also were a bit unlucky on lot of. Generally, I think our set pieces are really good, but we missed luck on some occasions. So, yeah, maybe next season we'll score like 20 from set pieces. You never know.
Yeah. I agree with that. We have had a little bit of luck. I just wish we attacked them a bit better, I think, is what we need to learn. But it's weird how we're talking about set pieces not being great when the first 2 goals came from set pieces. Obviously, the own goal header and then Dan Burns' header in the 45 and plus 4 minutes. And here it is, guys. Very clever the way Trips stops his run and then re-goes for it again. There it is, the little nudge. And then the knee slide to go with it as well. Look at Miggy's and someone mentioned it in the chat, the way they push Dan Burn towards the crowd. I'm sure his dad sits at that end, doesn't he?
I think so.
There it is. Yeah, if I'm right, I'm sure his dad sits at. Oh, is he sitting the Gallagher end? I can't remember now.
I think it was Lee's. He had season tickets, but I'm not sure which side.
But that was just a fantastic header. It was a great ball again, flat. The flat curl in. It was absolutely brilliant. Great header. Dan Burn scoring, Geordie lad, first Premier League goal for us, Lindsay. And like I say, you heard the crowd. We just went absolutely nuts.
Oh, God, yeah. Everyone went mad. I mean, the way he scored, that was obviously towards me. Where he celebrated was right in front of me. And in all honesty, I was just so elated that I fell into the lady in the front row. So my knee is purple from Thursday. But I had a little accident.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I fell. She was nice about it, bless her. It was an accident. Yeah, I was, there's a corner in the East Stand, and yeah, like in row B, there's just this corner where there's no chair. And I forgot that there's nothing there. Usually everywhere you are, you've got something to kind of stop your fall. But I forgot it was just a straight fall, this little corner, and
brilliant.
I went. But it was a brilliant goal by Dan. I thought his header, to be honest, I could hear him shouting as he was running, which made me all the happier. So yeah, brilliant goal. And we left singing, "You'll never ever beat Dan Burn." He's from Blythe. What a lad. And Peter Beardsley's favourite player.
Yes, and he is, which is a bit weird for someone who is such an attacking player and flair player who likes a left back and centre back as his favourite player, which was a bit. I thought he was going to say Sean Longstaff, to be fair, but he ended up coming out with Dan Burn. Blade, that's how you're attacking a header.
That is how you're attacking a header. Like I said earlier, if Burn hadn't been getting that, Botman was behind him. One of them was putting that ball in. It owes a lot of the delivery. I mean, I don't think Burn even kind of left the ground for it. He just kind of sort of got on tiptoes a bit and went, "There you go, have some of that." Happy days. But yeah, that is where him and his dad used to have season tickets in that corner.
I thought so.
So that's why he goes to that corner. Yeah. But the thing with you said about the defensive coach, we've actually got one.
Set piece coach.
Set piece coach, yeah, we've actually got one.
He's not very good then.
Yeah, and he's part of Eddie's staff when he came in.
He needs to sack him and get a better one. John Cena little interview was brilliant about him having a tiny car, and it was quite funny, to be fair. But it was a perfect time to score, Mauro. Right on the half time, the whistle blew as soon as they kicked back off again. We go in 2-0 up, and we're all in dreamland, aren't we?
Yeah, after 2-0, I thought we were going to win like 4 or 5-0. In that game, it was really the perfect time to score before the halftime, and finally, Dan Burn goal with the header came in. And to be honest, if you wanted to bet me before the season, if Sven Botman and Dan Burn would score only one goal between themselves with in the whole season. After 36 rounds, I would have bet probably my house, my car, my wife, and my child that they would score at least 5 or 10 goals or something like that. So it's really a long time overdue, but a great goal. And at that time, I thought we will smash them 4 or 5-0 at least.
I mean, we were all sitting in the ground thinking this is just unbelievable. Someone's I'll go back to it very quickly. Botman's was an own goal, so the one where he got his head on it, it ended up being an own goal. That was against Southampton, wasn't it? And Wayne reckons Solana should be the set piece coach. I mean, him and Shearer had the little tap and hit, well down to a T, didn't they? And his deliveries were unbelievable. But we come out in the second half, and I had a feeling this would happen. Brighton were just a complete different team. They make 3 substitutions. McAllister comes on and all that sort of stuff. I was just like, oh no, here we go. And Undav took his goal very well. Now, this is why, because there's a guy that's sat next to me. He says, why are Brighton still trying to play up from the back? And I literally said to them, this is how they play football and how they'll score a goal. And they did it. And the way they play out from the back is that they expose the middle and leave it wide open. And that's what happened. We had one defender at the back when that ball got played through to Undav. And he went through, slotted a past Pope brilliantly. And I was thinking at 2-1, Lindsay, like, no, not this again. Not like last season when we played Brighton. We literally hung on for dear lives to win that game 2-1. I did not want another second half like that.
No, well, I feel physically sick every time we concede a goal in anyways. Like, I'm sure I was saying this to you last night. Like, I'm really unreasonable about it, actually. Like, it's only me that really knows about it, but I feel physically sick every time we concede a goal. Own goals, especially. I hate seeing our own players score as well. It's like rubbing salt into the wound,
Yeah.
It is, but no, I can't really think. I think I was just nervous, to be honest with you, Baz.
I'm always nervous.
I was still singing, but I felt physically sick, and I didn't want to deal with it. But to be fair, it's not like we weren't looking like attacking. Like I settled quite quickly once we started getting control of the game again. I thought, right, okay, because it seems to have also become a bit of a habit for us to get a couple of goals and then concede. It's like we'll switch off defensively for that split moment and we'll concede one, but then we could go on to score another 3, 4, 5, Yeah. So as soon as I seen us getting a foothold in the game again, I could slowly start to relax. But I don't like it.
No one does. Blade, they did put us under pressure for at least 20 minutes. And I was thinking, they're turning the screw a little bit. They had the big guns back on. They moved Casado into midfield because he's not a right back, even though he's been doing really well there. They brought McAllister on, who's just quality. They brought Ferguson on, the young lad. And they did create some very, very good chances. They put our goal under pressure. Got a lot of free kicks, corners that were dangerous. Were you worried at 2-1?
No, not at all. I did think that for 20 minutes, I didn't think Brighton took control of the game. I thought we relinquished control of the game, which is why I wasn't worried. Because I thought all it was going to take is one tackle, one move, we're back in control, and that's it sorted. Because although you say Brighton created a few chances, when you watch them back, I'm hard pushed to describe them as even half chances. So no, I wasn't worried at all.
Yeah, I get that. We'll go on to the penalty decision, Mauro. I want you to try and work this out with me. I don't think there was a pen in the first half, to be completely honest with you. I know Wilson went down and it went to VAR, but it looked like he knew what he was doing. It was one of those ones. But the second half, when Dan Burn was up for a corner at 2-1, he had his shirt ripped off his arm in my eyes in the box, and that never went to VAR, did it? Obviously you watching it on TV, so you would have saw it better than me, but I was right in line with it, and all I saw was his arm go like that, his shirt was like that, and I'm thinking, well, that's a penalty.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also thought that Wilson penalty was a little bit over the. He just tried to make it, and to be honest, that wasn't penalty, at least for me. But the other one, Dan Burn, was really his T-shirt was pulled, and I think there was a case for a penalty at that one. And unlike Morgul, I was really worried when they scored. And generally, before this game, I was worried probably the most this season, because this was the crucial game for us. If we lost this game, that would be, even though we have Leicester at home on Monday, I think our players would get nervous. It would be so much different than this. And after they scored, I was very nervous before the game, and especially after they scored. But the guys replied magnificently and managed to get us 3 points in the end.
Yeah. The very frustrating thing about them scoring is Miggy should have scored literally 2 minutes before they actually scored. He missed a glorious opportunity, didn't he? It was a great move as well. Keeper pulled off a good save, but for me, he should have saved it. Blade, you would have had a better view of it. Of me, did he hit it straight at the keeper? Was it a lot easier or harder than what I thought it was? I thought he should have just tapped it in.
It comes at him quick, and I think the problem is he gets too good a contact on it.
Right.
Because he catches it flush on the top of the foot. If it skims off, if it scuffs a bit of the leather on the boot, it goes in either corner. It's just the speed it came from, how he made perfect contact. It ended up going straight down the middle, which just happened to be where their keeper was standing.
Yeah, brilliant. Someone's mentioned what I was going to bring up next, which was he should have hit his laces rather than the side of his foot. Yeah, it's a tough one when it comes at you fast, I guess. Where is it? Here it is. Eddie changed the press triggers, and he did. And it was a great tactical way of doing it, because what we stopped doing from when they scored, we stopped pressing the goalkeeper and we stopped pressing their final last defender. So whenever the ball went to the keeper or the defender, we just sat off them. And then we waited for the ball out to the wing or the ball into midfield before we started the press. And that was the one massive change in the second half, which stopped Brighton from playing through us as easily as they were in that 20 minutes. The tactics were fantastic, Lindsay, from Eddie Howe, and it was great to see that in-game play management that we kind of lacked at Leeds, didn't we? So it was great to see that in operation on Thursday night.
Oh yeah, there were times that were just like a well-oiled machine. You're sitting there and they were just fantastic. They were organised. Everyone knew the job. You had, and they all supported each other as well. There wasn't a single, or someone when they had backup. And then the player would pass the ball, they'd back off. You'd go, they'd get back up. It's just they're unplayable at times. I think when they're in the mood like that, and you do get a vibe for when they're in the mood.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling I actually said it on the way into the ground, to be honest with you. I said, I feel like they're gonna feel like they've got a point to prove tonight. I said, after losing to Arsenal and then drawing at Leeds, and only getting the goals there through penalties as well. We didn't even score a goal in open play, if you think about it.
No, we didn't.
So I think they were out to prove a point to themselves almost yesterday as well. And they looked as fresh yesterday as they did at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I thought it was superb. We'll come on to Blade for Miggy's goal now. So, sorry for Wilson's goal, but Miggy made it in my eyes. He was absolutely superb all night. He turned that defender like he wasn't even behind him. The way he just knocked the ball around him, just went Mimi right down the right wing. And then they had such a high line. Wilson just timed his run perfectly, because an inch further forward, he was offside. It was that timed. The pass was timed perfectly. And when Wilson ran through, there was no other end result other than a goal, was there? Because he's cool as ice when he comes to those situations.
Yeah, definitely. Wilson's after his 20 goals this season. But
Not
I'd
far
say
off.
that move started with Chris just running over and shouldering the guy off the ball, going, "Nah, sorry, you're not having that.
Caicedo,
That's
wasn't it, or
mine."
someone like that?
Yeah, just bounces him straight off. And I mean, Trips is a tiny little guy. I mean, Caicedo's not that big, but it's Trips. Like, to shove him over like that, and then you just go, "All right, Miggy, there you go. See what you can do."
Yeah.
And then even Miggy shoves a much bigger guy off him as he's going round him.
Yeah.
And then Wilson actually stops, and you see him take a step back before he runs again to stay on side. And then after that, it's a sprint race, and Wilson's cool finish. Never in doubt.
Definitely. Mauro, your favourite player, was came on as a sub, and he did this. This was brilliant. See ya.
Oh, see you later.
See you later. Let's watch it one more time.
See you later.
See you later. He literally sent him to Croatia.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Alan Saint-Maximin says, sit down.
When you've got Maxi doing things like that, it's a shame Bruno's touch was terrible because it was the right ball to play to him.
Yeah.
You know, you want to see that from Maxi every game. But that little bit of skill shows you why so many people will always argue we shouldn't sell him. And there's why people like me who think maybe we should sell him, then you see that and you go, oh man, I don't want to sell him.
Well, there's a lot of fans who think that we should sell him this summer, but I'm a big fan of Maxi, and I think if he can avoid injuries a little more and he can get more consistent, that he could be a big player for us. There is still a hell lot of potential in him, and even if we bring a couple of players in this summer, he could be somebody. We will have Champions League games, we will have Premier League games, Cup games, so there will be a lot of games to rotate the players. We will need to rotate players because there will be practically a game every 3 days, which is something different to now. So if he can keep progressing and avoid injuries, I think he can be a big player for us. And I think
That's the issue, though, isn't it? It's avoiding injuries.
Yeah, he's been really unlucky this season because every time he hit the form, he got an injury. And he was amazing in the Man City game. He was amazing in the Wolves game, and then he got an injury. Need to return. The squad was playing really good. It was hard to get back, and he just got like 5 to 10 minutes a game at first, and then when he managed to get the starting spot, he got an injury again, a small one, but. If he can get, he is a really, really high potential player. I think he can go even better than he is at the moment when he is on full form, and somebody we could definitely use with European games coming in. And but to be honest, if I was manager, if I was in Anyhow shoes, I wouldn't put him from the start in that game, even though I'm a big fan, because what the guys did, both Miggy and Isaac on the left in this game, I think they did magnificently, because both Estupian and Moses Caicedo, who is playing out of position on the right back lately, but they've been great in the last couple of games, and they totally stopped both left and the right wing doing anything practically. Both Estupian and Caicedo were the worst players, because both Trips and Miggy and Isaac and then Bruno on the right side, they totally stopped them. They didn't have any actions doing from the wings, and the work they did was really magnificent. So it really was.
And the great thing as well, after Wilson scored on 89 minutes, he came provided, and he did this. Do you know what it is? What I love about this? That was in the 91st minute. The game was already won at 3-1. The crowd, Lindsay, we were just enthusiastic, like we just scored a last-minute winner.
Do you know, we hadn't even settled down from Wilson's goal, to be honest. I think I shared a video yesterday, and I think I shared it as just called it filth, to be fair, because it was just catching Callum Wilson's goal. Yeah. Everyone's celebrating, and it was obviously an away fan up there. I don't know whether they were just filming the crowd and that just to remember it all, or if it was an undercover Newcastle. I think it'd be the latter, a Brighton fan. But Wilson's goal, everyone's celebrating. You see everyone with the scarves, and then the kick-off, and within, I think it's maybe about 5 to 6 passes.
2 minutes. Oh yeah, 5-6 passes.
5-6 passes. We've got the ball back. Yeah. Isaac's put Wilson through. We're in on goal. He squares it to Bruno, and when you listen to the video, there's the roar from Wilson's goal, and then when Bruno scores, it just goes up another notch, and it's because we hadn't even calmed down from the first one, so it was just
it's the icing on the cake, and it reminded me of the Spurs game where the goals just kept on coming. It was
it was like that. Everyone was still riled up and playing with the scarves, man, and Bruno goes and whacks another one in the net. The people were just delirious, I think.
Oh, the celebration was fantastic as well. It was right in front of me. He got on the hoardings to give it all this and everything, and they love you, and giving it up to the crowd. He's going nowhere. No, absolutely nowhere. What's this one? It was definitely same fields as Spurs. Yeah, it was same fields as the Spurs game. It was just mint. So Miggy was my man of the match. Can you get in the chat who you think your man of the match was? He had the highest passing accuracy, 89.5%. Most key passes, 4 key passes in a game, and everyone says he can't assist, and yet he got an assist. Tackles completed 2, interceptions 1, 2. He was up and down that flank. He was just unbelievable. Lindsay, who do you give your man of the match to?
Mine's Miggy, to be honest with you.
Miggy as well.
Mine is Miggy, yeah. Who did get man of match on the night? Because I was so drunk by the time I left, I didn't remember to look to see what they'd said. Does anybody?
I don't know. Who give it to Sky? Trips.
I think
Trips.
Thanks, Blade.
Yeah, so who was your? Miggy was mine. Miggy's Lindsay. What about you, Blade? Who's your man of the match?
Miggy. Just for his angry face. I don't know exactly what happened to him to make him that angry. But that guy was on fire after that.
He had a fight with Vincenzo, didn't he? Apparently they were speaking the same language, and he must have said something he didn't like.
I heard he called him a gay boy or something.
Seriously?
How true that is, I don't know. But some people seem pretty adamant on it. But who knows? He's apologised though, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah, he has apologised. Yeah. I think he sent a message out to Miggy, and things happen in the heat of the moment. What happens during the game stays in the game. Jeez, I went to the Irish Centre and had a few beers with a lonely Brighton fan afterwards. So, you know what I mean? All's fair and nothing war. And
yeah, exactly. It happens. I mean, it's just in the heat of the moment. It was just one of those things where he's obviously angry. He's getting beaten.
We could all be the worst version of ourselves sometimes, Barry.
Exactly. We've seen plenty of them online, haven't we? Mauro, who was your man of the match?
Well, officially, I think it was Bruno for this game, but for me, it was definitely Miggy because he totally stopped Stupian. He helped Trips in every time the Stupian tried to go forward, and Miggy for me. Miggy or Wilson was also great. He had a goal and assist, and really his goal practically finished the game. But I think Miggy for this one.
There was quite a few people. I mean, myself personally, I don't think Wilson was having a great game. But then in that second half, when he conserved his energy and waited to press at the right time and use his pace to get behind the back line, how he did, he was just superb. But Miggy definitely. So a few little good stats for you. Newcastle have scored 4 or more goals in 8 Premier League games this season, as many times as they managed to do so in their previous 10 top-flight campaigns combined. Eddie's goal-scoring mags. Blade, this is a phenomenal stat for me.
It's great. I love it. It means that right at the start of the season when I said, I'm going with crazy match predictions from the start,
You went far off, were you?
Kind of don't look so crazy.
They don't. It's mental. I mean,
The amount of times you've been right this season,
I
sickening.
know it is, isn't it?
Scary, innit?
I've always been conservative, and I don't think I've hardly got any right. It's mental.
I've got none.
there you are
Every
then.
time I say it's going to be 1-0, we'll batter them 4-5 or whatever. And then if I think we're going to do 3-0, we'll end up drawing 0-0 or 1-1. So I just stopped doing it now.
We are going to have a table next season where we're going to do Super Six or something, and we're going to have a battle out between us. It'll be fun. I'll think of something. Another one, Newcastle United have set the new record tonight. They have achieved the lowest number of losses in the top flight season this season, regardless of what happens in the next 2 games in 131 years existence. It's been a miracle season. The other one thing that says about that, Mauro, just shows you how much the game's changed, because in 131 years, we actually won the league a couple of times, and we still managed this season to only lose 4 times. Is it 4 times or 5 times now? I can't remember.
City, Liverpool.
5 times.
Yeah.
We've lost 5 times. So we've only lost 5 this season, which is amazing. The draws have killed us, but Mauro, it just bodes well for the future, doesn't it?
Well, it's to be honest, it's unbelievable. Something that I didn't expect to have had such a strong defense, and we've hold the title as the best defensive side up until the last game. I think now Man City is 1 goal ahead of us, but still amazing what we did this season, and how our defense has played, and just gives us great foundations continue. And this summer, if we can add a couple of quality players in the midfield and attack, we will be really strong next season and continue in this way.
I love it. Lindsay, make sure you say 1-0 on Monday night, just so we win 4-0. Fantastic goal scoring stat. Everyone talks about our defence, but forgets that Eddie likes to play on the front foot. Exactly. Could win 5. He lost 5 times, yeah. It's basically top 5 in the Prem next season who get Champions League right. So we'll grab a spot next season too, and it would be firmly us as the new Big 6. Yeah, I don't really like the new Champions League changes, but there you go. Right. There it is, boys and girls. What drives Twitter crazy? We've just won a cup final against Brighton. The 3 points are ours. I love it how the shirt got in there with Bruno for Arthur again, which is amazing. But after the last week and a
I
bit
love
on
Jason
Twitter,
Tyndall, me, and
there it is.
Jason down there and Isaac pointing at him.
They have definitely done that on purpose. They
Yes,
put him
they
in the
have.
middle of this picture on purpose, because it's just, phenomenal. I think Eddie's taken the picture as well, isn't he? Because he never gets involved in them.
No, if you have a look next to Botman, Eddie's always in the back.
Oh, is he always in the back?
He's always in the back.
You see,
yeah.
he's the quiet one. It's brilliant. That's why the partnership works so much, doesn't it? We've got a few more talking points, but before we get to them, just remember our new sponsor, some great Newcastle merchandise. Please go to the description, click on the link to their shop, and have a look to see if there's anything that tickles your fancy. And the great news is them being sponsors is, as I say, we won't be getting anything for this as a channel. It will be a T-shirt once a month to give away as a prize to you lucky members who are members of this channel. And thank you to everyone who is. If you want to become a new member tonight, link is at the top of the chat, and you will be in the draw next month to win a prize. I've also got a Peter Beardsley print to give away that I got him to sign last night. So there'll be 2 prizes next month. One might be done on Twitter, one might be done on YouTube. I haven't decided yet. But please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up if you are enjoying tonight's banter. Talking about banter, before we go to the league table, there was a little video made. Lindsay.
Oh, Barry, man.
You've never seen a Macam in Milan. 4.4 million views. Lindsay has the whole of Sunderland, the whole of Macam land on her end of her fishing rod. It has been superb.
I am the puppet master.
Yeah, since Thursday night, Lindsay has been called everything under the sun. Has responded absolutely perfectly to everyone. and has literally had them all on a shoestring. Basically, it's been absolutely hilarious. I've joined in a little bit, but not as much as I wanted to.
Oh no! I mean, me and my best mate were talking about this morning actually, and I said my favourite ones are the people likening me to Philip Schofield's boy toy. Right, I found that really funny. And Lovey was like, "No, I like the ones that think you're a trans me." So
It's
either way,
brilliant.
we've just been having a bloody good laugh at them all. To be honest, like the thing is, when they get so personal and nasty with you immediately, it just shows the level of intellect that you're dealing with.
Exactly.
You know, what's the point in arguing? You can't argue with stupid, so you may as well just laugh at them.
Exactly. I mean, I had
I
to report one of them for you, and he got banned because
I think he's off now. Yeah, because that was a bit far. Yeah, I can take a lot, but that was just a bit far for me as well. Never mind.
But I've had a Mackham been trolling me, which I thought was quite funny. I changed my profile picture to the one of Peter Beardsley, and he's literally messaging me going, "I see you've changed your picture, lad." I was like, "What?" He said, "You're weirdo for changing your picture." I went, "I'm a weirdo for changing my picture, but yet you're the one stalking me, telling me I've changed my picture." I mean, come on, there's levels to this, isn't there?
Make it make sense in their world. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? That some people just, you know, some people are going to be like that. If that's how you want to be, you do you. Because I'm just going to keep doing me.
Exactly.
And I don't care. I don't give a flying monkeys what anyone says, to be honest. I'm old enough now. I'm old enough and long enough in the tooth to know that people's opinions who don't know you really are irrelevant.
Exactly. Mohammed, thank you so much for the 1999. So I'm not too sure what says that, Saudi Arabian dollars or something like that. I'm not too sure. But he says, "How do you feel when the Champions League anthem is played at St.James Park?" We'll come to that at the end of the show because we are going to talk about that. I promise you. But before we do, we've got to show this because obviously, you know, the official account, Newcastle account, put out the score with the scorers, and look who liked it. Everyone's seen this. Saboslia liked the tweet. He's a player we've been chasing. He scored tonight. He scored a penalty for obviously Leipzig. They've secured Champions League football. According to our scout man, he said that the club have said unless they hit the release clause, there's no way he's leaving the club. But Lindsay, it's very. I mean, the last time we saw that was Botman, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was just about to say that last time was when the whole Botman thing started. And I remember when Sven Botman liked the thing. And then, to be honest with you, I hope it's a nice, smooth ride. I do not want the emotional roller coaster I had with Sven Botman because...
No, definitely not. Milan.
Oh, my God. From, like, being so close to signing him or having the back and forth, wasn't it? The tedious back and forth. And then all of a sudden hearing that he's agreed a deal in principle elsewhere. And you think, oh, well, that's it then, you know? And then...
I was never. Me and Blade we're getting.
No, I see. I don't have any of the. You know, I just sit there chewing on my nails.
Just need to listen to us more often, Lindsay.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'll try.
That's what we're here for.
I'm not a very good listener.
No, well, I love it. This has been put out by the other 14, Mauro. It's basically, obviously, the big six that they call themselves aren't in these stats, but Nick Pope has been the best goalkeeper outside of the top six. And he's not far off getting the Golden Gloves for the whole season, to be fair. But I think he needs to get 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games to go ahead of Ramsdale, I think. But it just shows you what you mentioned before about our defence being so good. Nick Pope deserves a lot of credit as well. It's just amazing to see a Newcastle player at the top of a list.
Yeah, Nick Pope definitely deserves a lot of credit, and he's been amazing for most of the seasons. And he did have that red card and maybe 1 or 2 howlers, but beside that, it was an amazing season, and he's been great. We just proves with his statistics and an option to have a Golden Glove in the end with 2 games left. But for me, Nick Pope was one of our better players this season.
It's been
definitely definitely deserves all the applause coming his way.
Yeah. Blade, here's the table. Now, I've had many of arguments with people on, well, not arguments, just trying to tell them what the outcomes are going to be. Honestly, it's been doing my head in. Obviously, we need 1 point. It's that simple. However, if Liverpool want to catch us, we have to lose 2 games, and then Liverpool have to win their game quite handsomely. Maybe. There's a 7-goal difference at the moment between us and Liverpool. But however, that goal difference will go down if Newcastle lose 2 games. Let's just say, for example, we lose 1-0, 1-0. That means Liverpool will be 5 goals behind us. So that means if they win 5-0 against Southampton, they will overtake us in the table because they've beaten us twice. So just because it says 7 now at the moment in the goal difference, that doesn't mean Liverpool have to win 7-0, because we have to lose 2 games, which will take goals away from that goal difference as well. But let's face it, who gives a fuck? Because we're going to beat Leicester on Monday night, aren't we, Blade?
We are indeed. I was creased up at the Twitter chat when you were basically explaining mathematics. I was like, why is he repeating himself so much? Why don't we just get it? It's not hard. Like, if we get beat 2-0, 2-0, our goal difference is reduced from 7 to 3. Therefore, Liverpool only need to win 3-0. Like, it's not difficult.
It's not. But obviously everyone was finding it difficult because all they could see was 7. And then they said, well, if Liverpool score 7 and we don't concede, they'll catch us. Well, if we don't concede, we've got a point, which means Liverpool can't catch us. Yeah. It's like, I was tearing my hair out.
I just thought, Christ, we need a maths teacher. And then I thought, no, actually we don't. Like, some people heads a bit.
Some people just get stuck in their ways when they see something. But yeah, we're not going to do what Spurs did today. They were shocking. They were absolutely phenomenal in the first half, Spurs, by the way. The old Spurs. And then the second half, they just fell to pieces. It was brilliant to watch. Why is everyone talking about us seeing Man U goal difference? Their wins aren't guaranteed. Exactly. I mean, I think Liverpool could still catch Man United potentially if they lose their 2 games. I'm not even worried about it anymore. I'm looking at that table going, we've got Champions League football. The only thing I want is I want to stay in third, because Lindsay, third is a statement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one thing getting Champions League football, rather.
I
know. Do you know what it is? Bear with me, guys. I've been out the last 2 nights and I've had to work as well. I'm a tired girl today. Just hanging. But no. I think it makes a statement because, you know, other than Leicester, when Leicester nearly got relegated and then came up to win the league, I don't think there's anything really close, you know, to what we've done. Like, we've gone from getting new owners, being in the pits, to relegation, to everybody telling us we were down, to now not only qualify in a position to qualify for Champions League football, but we've done it convincingly and we're in third. Yeah. You know, while having that guy that got Bournemouth relegated as our manager.
Yeah, the PE teacher is what Steve likes to call him. Mauro, I mean, that league table just brings a smile to your face, doesn't it? It's an unbelievable achievement.
It is unbelievable. I remember at the beginning of the season when we were all predicting the places that we will finish. In the end, I was probably the most optimistic. I was expecting 5th or 6th place finish in the end, which would still be unbelievable achievement after last season and the last 14 seasons under Mike Ashley, to be honest. But what guys had done, we practically spent the most of the season on the 3rd or 4th place, and the finish we will. But generally, all day I've been reading posts on Twitter about the goal difference, about that we only need the draw for the last game. And I was just looking at it and thinking, do you know who are talking about? It's Eddie Howe, it's our players, and there is no way that we are going to play for a draw or anything. And I think they will give their best for the 90 plus minutes, not just in the Leicester game, even when we get a win against Leicester, even against Chelsea in London away, I think they will play full strength for 90 minutes and trying to get 3 points there, even though they maybe won't be needed. But it's just the setup that Eddie Howe has installed in the players and the whole team, and they will just go full strength, 100% until the end of the season. Yeah.
Completely agree. Mohammed, I said I'd talk about it. There it is. Champions League football, what this means to this football club again and to us. I mean, I was lucky enough as a young lad to be able to see great nights like beating Barcelona. I've been to Champions League games. I didn't get to go to the Barcelona game, unfortunately, because my mum and dad went. How selfish of my mum. So not let me go to that game. But there you go. But I was spoiled as a kid, I think, because I obviously saw the Kevin Keegan era, the Robson era. The one thing that I love about this happening now is the kids who have only known Mike Ashley are going to finally experience what it's like to play against the likes of potentially Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan in the San Siro, Lindsay. It's just, it's a party time, isn't it? And I don't care who we get. They can put us in the hardest group possible. We're back.
Yeah, I know. We're all just going to be buzzing that we're going to get to go to Europe here and there throughout the year now, aren't we? Everyone, exactly. I'll tell you what, there's going to be an absolute influx of passport requests to the passport office. The people trying to get the passport renewed, getting ready for it.
I've just got mine renewed, to be fair.
I haven't. Going on holiday, passport but there you go. Is not in date. I probably will look to doing it, but I've got far too much other stuff to worry about before I do that.
Exactly. The only worry on Monday is complacency with Liverpool not winning. So I think job done. Lose by net 3 goals to Foxes and Chelsea and VAR. Only need 4 against Saints. Trust me, there's going to be no complacency. The only thing that could screw us on Monday is potential injuries, but they're not as bad as we think. Or we don't think so. But Blade, you're a tiny bit older than me, so you've seen all the good stuff in Europe. And it's just nice to be able to listen and see on Twitter and everything about the kids who have never seen European football yet, or Champions League football, because we did have that one season under Pardew where we had a good run in the UEFA Cup. But it's just nice to be back.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, my nephew, he's absolutely Newcastle mad. He's never known anything but Ashley. My niece, she's keen on Newcastle. My son, he's never known anything but Ashley. So for a new generation to be captured by the imagination and the way we play like we were back in the day. And I mean, I was there before the Keegan years as well, so I saw some proper dross before Keegan came in. I was there when we were nearly like into Division 3. So yeah. But for those kids to now grow up in what is going to be an absolutely outstanding era of watching a club that not only cares, but it engages with its fan base, it gets the area, the owners are going to redevelop not just my club, but the city. The kids are going to have job opportunities that they would have never have gotten. It's the whole thing is just unbelievable.
Ball boys, good Champions League ball boys. I love it. Mauro, is there any chance of us getting a Croatian team in our group? Is that even a possibility, or is it not?
That's something I really hope for, because it will get me closer to the game, and even the Champions League games are much cheaper to get a ticket than Premier League games, and something I really look forward. So if it was like Dinamo Zagreb, Croatian team, or even something like Austria or Italy, something close to Croatia, I would be really happy and definitely go for an away game. And something I'm really looking forward ever since the whole Champions League place finish started a while ago. And I already.
If there's any chance of us getting a Croatian team in the Champions League, we're all fucking coming.
It's Croatia Zagreb. It's the champion, unfortunately, the champion this year. So there is a big chance of us getting them again.
Well, if we do, we're coming. We're coming.
You have to get the emergency chairs out, Mauro.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. We'll meet there.
Mara's got plenty of apartments for us to sort us out. It's as simple as that.
That's in Dubrovnik, not Zagreb, but I'll figure something out. No worries.
Figure something out. That's
No
what
worries.
I like
No
to hear.
worries.
There's always coaches and stuff like that. We can sort it out.
We'll sort it out.
There's no transfer news tonight, Tommy. Blade is waiting for some information potentially tomorrow. If he gets it and it's good and it's worthy of doing a video, just keep an eye out on the channel. We do them when we hear things. We don't like to force things. We just wait until we hear from the right people and then we spit it out when we can. How many spare rooms has Mara? Mara's got loads of spare rooms. Remember, he actually runs holiday, hotels and stuff like that. We will be fine. There we go. Right, before we go, don't forget Benfest at the end of July, bank holiday weekend. Some absolute amazing tribute bands on there. Get yourselves to the football ground. They're an amazing little non-league club. They need everyone's support to try and get a new pitch. These sort of events that they put on really do help to get the funding that they need to keep the club running and things like that. So please consider buying some tickets and having a great weekend. I'll be at work, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have been there because I like live music. I love a bit of Queen. What's happening now? I wonder if Saudi Air have been asked to provide charter flights for fans too. Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? No problem, Tommy. Sorry there's no news, but like I say, when we get news, we will definitely spout it out. I can promise you that. We never keep anything back. Please hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed the show. Hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget our new sponsor. Please check out the description below. If this show has got the link to the shop, some amazing Toon t-shirts there. The Nick Pope, the wall, that will be the prize that we're going to be giving away next month, probably on Twitter. So check our socials below. All our ats are there. And then you'll be on the chance of winning a t-shirt as long as you keep an eye out on Twitter for the notification of when we do it. And thank you to everyone who is a member. Don't forget, the link is at the top of the chat tonight. If you want to become a member and you want a chance of winning something, that's how you do it. Let's not take Leicester for granted. They're fighting relegation. We need to be careful and go for the throat on Monday. Fingers crossed, lads. We're not taking them for granted. But remember, Brighton are fighting for Europe and they can still get a European spot. And we dispatched them 4-1. So I'm just not worried, to be fair. Just not kidding that once. Oh, God. You would do it. Right. I'm going to leave you with this one more time. Bruno's fucking magic. He wears a magic hat. I better not start singing, otherwise I'm gonna get Leslie telling me off in some text messages.
As if you haven't watched the match cam, I've ended up on the match cam,
Have you? Brilliant.
Yeah, a couple of people told me I was on the match cam, but I was really worried that it was when Dan Burn scored, because could you imagine me getting the moment I'm caught on match cam for the first time is when I'm also over tit in another woman's lap. You know what I mean? Like, I would have been absolutely devastated, but it's not. It's after the young goal. It's after the first goal.
I wish I knew that before the show and I would have snipped it and shown it as well. Devastating.
Yeah, well, tough. And now I'm going to disappear for 6 months. Bye.
You wish you are.
Join us not tomorrow. The first time you've been on camera face down in a woman's lap. Stop trying to lie to her.
Exactly. For anyone who wants to see Lindsay's OnlyFans, it's in the description below in the channel. I'm only joking. Right. Yeah. We're going to be back tomorrow night because we've got to do the look ahead for the Leicester game. I will be back on Monday night straight after work for the match itself. So please tune in for those two shows and you'll see these lovely faces and other faces in the background who will be coming on at different times. Can't wait to welcome back Jade back onto the channel as well. We've had a discussion and she's going to come back and do some shows. It's absolutely amazing. Love yous all. Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks you, Mara. Thank you, Blade, for coming on as always. We'll see you tomorrow night and try and enjoy the rest of your weekend while we still got it. Hopefully the sun is shining tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Cheers.